We'll start the session with the prayers. Vasudeva Sutam Devam Kamsa Chanuramardhanam Devaki Paramanandam Krishnam Vande Jagatgurum. On this auspicious day of Guru Purnima, we seek the blessings of all the Gurus to take us to the truth. Bhagavad Gita is the Lord's song to reveal us our real nature. We are in the 14th chapter titled Gunatraya Vibhaga Yoga, and we are in a very, very important section of the whole Bhagavad Gita, which talks about our real nature. In the 13th, 14th, and the 15th chapter of the Bhagavad Gita, Lord Krishna tells us that I am in all the human beings as their own self. This is the highest truth. In what form we can see that Lord in us is being explained in these three chapters. All the three chapters deal with the same topic. How do I see this Lord in me? The Lord expresses in all of us as aham, I. In advanced text of Vedanta, they try to analyze this word I in very, very deep way. Very, very deep. You won't understand it right now, but you need to go through those scriptural texts, scriptural verses to understand how deep you can go into this I, how this I comes into this body. How do I say all of us have got one universal name, which is I am. The name which we get belongs to the body, but I am belongs to the spirit, the consciousness, the awareness. So universally, life is only one, which is called as God in religious terms. It is called as consciousness in Vedanta, Chaitanyam. Name is different. In English, we normally use the word awareness. Names are different, but the substance is one. One entity, which is the substratum for the entire universe. All our experiences, wherever you may be situated, there is only one thing which is there in all of us, and that is awareness. That awareness in me is not only in all the human beings, it is there in it is pervaded in the entire universe. This is how Bhagavad Gita teaches us the final truth of the universe. As we study the Bhagavad Gita, our vision about ourselves, our vision about the universe which we experience will change. Each one of us have a capacity to absorb these lessons. In whatever way we absorb, we will be benefited by it. In practical terms, we will have the ability, we will get the strength to face the circumstances and events, whatever comes in our life. That is the practical benefit. The real benefit is when I inquire in my own mind and put the teaching in our intellect in such a way that it becomes like a light showing me the path, how to go more deeper and deeper into my own mind. This is the light which is celebrated as Guru Purnima. The light of the scriptural words which removes the darkness which has existed in my life for so many births. I do not know how many births I've had, but the scriptures tell me I have had several births before this current birth. In every birth, I have lived in ignorance. Ignorance about my true nature. This ignorance is a wheel. It has got avarna shakti. It is a very powerful force which covers my nature. And on this Guru Purnima day, what we are seeking is the blessing of the Gurus who are not present today, but they have given us this literature to use this as a tool. Each one of us prays to the same force to uncover and reveal the truth. That uncovering process is the final teaching. When we do the Mahavakya Vichara, Tat Tvam Asi, which is the central teaching of Bhagavad Gita, when we understand the Tat Pada means the principle of God, Tvam Pada, the Jivatma, when we try to unmask both the Jiva and the Creator, then we come to the truth. We stand absolutely without the five koshas. Without the body, I ask myself, who am I? I am not the body, I am not the mind, I am not the doer, enjoyer in this body. They are all separate from me. And I am the illuminating principle, the consciousness, awareness principle, without which none of the sense organs can function. This chapter, Gunatraya Vibhaga, is a very important chapter. It not only helps me practically to understand my mind, it also helps me to go beyond the mind. So far in the verses up to verse number 18, we have seen the practical side of the gunas. In short, guna means our own mind and our own body. The body is supposed to be tamo guna. Tamo guna means it is made up of 5 elements, and the 5 elements have got the 3 gunas in them. The 3 gunas are sattva, rajas, and tamas. The 5 elements in combination make up this body. This body keeps on changing. The body is only the combination of these 5 elements. In a gross way, we can say whatever we eat as food is this body, made up of calcium, phosphorus, and so on. And they are constantly changing. Every 7 years, our bones get changed. They're not the same bones as what we were born with. Our blood flow changes. Our minds change because of the chemical content in the mind. So as whatever we eat, it has a tremendous impact on the gunas in the body. The sattva guna means I am working towards peace, happiness, joy. That is one way in which the mind functions. The second way is the mind wants to act. It wants to run, it wants to act, it wants to go super fast. It wants to do things very fast. Suppose you are in the kitchen and you're cooking, you want to finish the cooking within, say, 45 minutes or 1 hour. That is Rajoguna. It is the Rajoguna which is acting on you. Suppose you are working in an office, you want to type a letter and you want to finish the letter, or working on a program, software program, and you want to finish it today, whatever you're doing, whether you are working in a bank, whether you're working in an office, you start the work in the morning and you tell yourself, I want to finish this, I want to finish this. That what expresses is called as Rajas. This is a part, it is a nature. The nature has got a Rajoguna. Then in the evening, we all want to go to sleep. When night dawns on us, we all feel tired and we just want to just relax. It is a natural process by which the body takes rest, the sense organs take rest, the mind also takes rest for 6 to 8 hours, and then wakes up again. This is the play of 3 gunas. By understanding this chapter, we understand the nature, how it acts in this body, how Prakriti acts in this body. In the 13th chapter, we heard a lot about Prakriti and Purusha. Purusha means the sentient knowingness in this body, which is totally different than the 5 elements. The sentiency in all of us makes us active. It is behind the gunas. The 3 gunas are in the front. The sentiency is at the back, which is called as Om. And then right in front of what we come to see every day is our body, made up of sense organs, or mind, or intellect, or buddhi, memory, all that is right in the front. But what controls this body is the Prakriti. So Prakriti is a general phenomena of nature consisting of 3 gunas. And when I understand that it is the gunas which are acting in this body, then I create a distance between me and the gunas. This is the benefit of knowing and studying this chapter. A distance is created. I am the consciousness, awareness principle. In this light of awareness, things are happening. Once this distance is created, we are able to see and experience our mind's turbulences much better than before. I come to become aware that my mind is agitated, my mind is happy, my mind has got ignorance, my mind has got so much of turbulences throughout the day. By having this knowledge, I create peace in myself, because my nature is consciousness. In another word, in another Upanishad, it is called as Sat Chit Ananda. So if I am that, then what happens is I learn to face my life as it comes. Events are coming every day for all of us. Morning is different, evening is different, tomorrow will be different. Events are coming and going, coming and going. But how do I face it with the knowledge of the Bhagavad Gita and without the knowledge of the Bhagavad Gita? There is a huge difference. So for all who have come up to this stage of the 14th chapter, this is a great achievement in life. We have done the 14 chapters, and it has given us an insight into ourselves. With this small introduction, I will go straight into the topic of where we stopped. We stopped last week. We were doing this this is where we stopped. We need to have freedom from the bondage of the three gunas. I have explained to you already that there is a direct bondage and there is an indirect bondage. Ignorance is the main bondage. We have seen that I am ignorant about my real nature. And the freedom from these bondages is what is called as moksha. Nanyam gunebhya kartaram yada drishtano pashyati. We have seen this verse. I'm just running through the meaning. Then we'll go to the 21st verse where we stopped last week. Nanyam gunebhya kartaram yada drishtano pashyati gunebhyascha param veti madbhavam sodigacchati. So here from 19 to 27 is a very important section, which I told you last time also. The seer, that means I, the consciousness principle, I see that the gunas are acting in this body and I am higher than the gunas. I am not at all touched by the gunas. When I come to realize this, then I'm moving more towards God, more towards the truth. I am that consciousness principle. This is a very important fact which each one of us has to realize in our own hearts. And how do I realize this in my day-to-day living? As soon as I get up in the morning, I remember that my gunas are going to be acting. I am the sakshi. I am the pure consciousness principle. Just remind yourself in the morning or as and when it's possible in the morning. And then you carry on, let the activities go on. This gives us the strength to face whatever it comes during the day. Then the next verse, Gunanetanadit yatrin dehi deha samudbhavan janma mrityu jara dukkhayi vimukto mritamashnute. We say that this jiva is the embodied one it is this jiva which is facing the three gunas. The body is evolved out of the three gunas. Like I said, we have seen in Tattva Bodha that the body, the gross body consists of the tamoguna aspect. The mind, the indriyams, the jnana indriyams and the mind, which are the six indriyams, they call it indriyam, which has the power to get the knowledge. Jnana indriyams. Those are all made up of the sattva aspect of the five elements. Whatever I'm telling you, if you don't understand, you have to go back to the Tattva Bodha. There it's explained in detail. What is Sattva Bodha? What is, how is the body created, the subtle body, the gross body, the causal body, everything is explained in Tattva Bodha. There are 5 sessions of Tattva Bodha for newcomers. You can go back to Tattva Bodha. There are in the videos. So you can, basically the body is made up of sattva, the jnana indriyas, the prana and the organs of action, they're controlled by the rajoguna. So sattva and rajas, we all understand very clearly. That means the body wants to act, means my rajoguna is active. The body wants to know things, my sattva guna is active. Body doesn't want to do both these things, it wants to remain idle, that is my tamoguna. So there is a jiva, there is an indweller in this body who is throughout the life facing the mind and the prakriti. With the knowledge of the Bhagavad Gita, I understand the functioning of these gunas. And then the Bhagavad Gita tells me, you are someone separate from this 3 gunas. When I come to know, I realize this, then the Bhagavad Gita tells me that if I abide as a pure consciousness principle, I am freed from the samsara of birth, death, decay, pain. This is the goal of our study of the Bhagavad Gita. All of us, initially, we do not know what is there in the Bhagavad Gita. We all want to study because everybody talks about Bhagavad Gita. It's very good. And my father, my mother, my parents, and they have all talked to me about Gita. Sometimes we just enter the Gita like that. But when you come to the chapter 14, you understand the real purpose of the Bhagavad Gita. The real purpose is, I want to get rid of sorrow. And the only way to get rid of sorrow is to know my real nature as the consciousness principle. The consciousness is the substratum. Substratum means it is on the bed. It is the bed on which the 3 waking, dream, and sleep states are coming and going. 3 states are belonging to the mind, and the 3 gunas also belong to the mind. So with this knowledge, I try to apply it in my life. When I apply it in my life, what do I understand? I will understand that these 3 states are just appearances. It is coming, going. Every day there is a waking state, there is a dream state, there's a sleep state, again a dream state, waking state, sleep state. It is a cycle. The body goes through these 3 states. I try to stand aloof from these 3 states because I have studied the Gita. Like I said, you stand apart. Even when you are acting, let the actions go on. Just remember, I am not the actor. I am the consciousness principle. This remembrance will give you a lot of strength in life. So that was verse number 20. Today we'll start with the 21st verse. Arjuna uvacha Kailingay Sri Guna Netan Atito Bhavati Prabho Kimachara Katham Chaitan Trin Gunan Ati Vartate. So very important question from Arjuna. See, he has heard of 20 verses so far of the Prakriti. The gunas are 3 types. Sattva is of the nature of peace. Rajo is a nature of action. Inertia, Tamoguna is of the nature of inertia. He has heard about all this, how the gunas I can identify in my body, all that he has heard. Now he is asking this important question, what are the marks, what are the indicators of a person who has crossed the 3 gunas? That means what? He has said, he has learned, he has applied the knowledge, and in him he has found that he is Atma, and the gunas are nothing but the nature which is Prakriti. There is a distinction, there is a viveka in his mind. So once a person gets this distinction, Atma, Anatma, Viveka, then he is called as a jnani. He has got the knowledge of Atma. He is in him, he has been able to separate and also start abiding in the Atma as the real self. This is a process. This is a cognitive process. Change happens in the intellect, in the buddhi. The buddhi slowly understands the difference between the mind and consciousness. The light of consciousness is always there. I am the truth. I can never negate myself. This is how truth is explained in the scriptures. I can never negate myself. What cannot be negated in 3 periods of time, past, present, and future, that is called as the truth. That is called as consciousness. The body is seen in the waking state. It goes off in the sleep state. I'm not aware of the body. You may say the body is lying in the bed, but then I'm not aware. So awareness is higher principle. Body is a lower principle. So this awareness is there, but the body is not visible. So waking state is not there in dream, and the dream state is gone in this waking state. In the sleep state, both these 2 states are not there. So what is the common denominator in all the 3 states? If you ask, it is the consciousness. And that consciousness is independent. This is what a jnani has learned who has crossed the 3 gunas. Rajoguna is the dream state. Tamoguna is the sleep state. Sattva guna is the waking state. So the jnani knows that these 3 states are not me. I am the sakshi, I am the awareness of the 3 states of the mind. This is how you should understand this particular verse. First of all, we should understand what does one mean by crossing over the 3 gunas. And now Arjuna is asking, how do I recognize such a person? This is similar verse of chapter 2, Sthita Prajna Lakshana, where Arjuna asked a realized person, if his consciousness is sthitam, that means it is thiram, is firm, how does he act? How does he sit? How does he walk? How does he conduct himself? That was the question. Prajahati yada kaman, sarvan partha manogatan, atmanye atmana tushtaha. All those verses, if you remember, 2nd chapter, 54th verse onwards to 72. This is the same topic being discussed here. Arjuna's question is, what are the indicators of one who has crossed the 3 gunas? What is his conduct? And how one goes beyond the 3 gunas? Very straightforward questions. And what are the signs? Are there any internal signs? Are there external signs? So this is what I was telling you, chapter 2, verse 54. Also the same topic was discussed in the 12th chapter, verse number 13. And that is, parabhakta. Suppose you are a bhakta and you focus yourself only on bhakti. I love my God. I love my Krishna. And then you spend time dwelling on the Lord in your heart. So in that 12th chapter, we saw what happens to a parabhakta. That means he has gone beyond his bhakti and he has become one with the Lord. All these three means, all this parabhakta, sthita prajna and guna atita, they all are talking about the same realization of the atma in them. You and I can also realize this in the spiritual path when our mind becomes pure. The qualification is required is I must make my mind steady, not chanchalam. If it is disturbing, then that is the mirror in which I can see my face of Atma. If the mirror is dirty, if the mirror is moving, my reflection in that mirror will not be firm. I won't be able to see myself. So this is the verse I was referring. Sthita prajnishcha ka bhasha samadhistasva keshava sthitadhi kim prabhasheta kimasita vrajeta kim adveshta sarvabhutanam maitrak karuna evacha nirmamo nirahankaraha samadukha sukha kshami. This is how in the 12th chapter the Lord said, a person who doesn't hate anybody, who is friendly and compassionate to all, and who is not attached to his ego as his self, he is the one who is balanced person in life. In that balanced nature of the mind, the Atma reflects. The next verse, Bhagavan explains, he starts explaining from this verse onwards, how is the person who has crossed the three gunas, what are the signs? Sri Bhagavanu vacha prakasham cha pravirtim cha mohameva cha pandava nadveshti sampravrittani nanivrittani kankshati. Now here certain signs are given. How to recognize a person? All of us, when we see people in the world and you come across a person who is very sattvic in nature, you can identify the person. Similarly, a person who is very rajasic, morning to evening is rushing, always you see him, oh, he is always active. You will see such persons in life. At that time, remember, it is the Rajo Guna which is active in that person. And there are certain people who are not at all interested in any activity. You call them to play tennis with you, you'll say, no, I'll come next week. He'll keep on postponing. Procrastination. If you tell him, come on, let's go for a cup of coffee, he'll say, no, we'll go in the evening. Let me sleep now. So there are such people, and then there is always a mixture of these three gunas. It is not that a person is always tamasic, always sattvic, always rajasic. It is a mixture. So what we see outside in people is also happening to me, which others can see. If I am a person who has been able to purify my mind, I will also be able to see these type of activities in me. Because there is a consciousness which is the sakshi of these gunas. So the 14th chapter is a very clear proof that I am separate from my mind. I am separate from the body because the body anyway is dropped here. I am separate from the mind because it is made up of three gunas. I am the eternal consciousness, and knowing the three gunas are not me or mine, I become immortal. The consciousness is the truth. So in this, the Lord is giving us three basic signs: prakasham, pravritti, and moha. Prakasham cha pravrittim cha mohameva cha pandava. This is a very important verse, very often quoted by many people. When they talk about Bhagavad Gita, this is one of the most important verses they quote. Because this describes who I am for others to see. For me to know, I am consciousness, that's all. But what that consciousness illumines is prakasham, which is sattva guna. Peace, happiness, effulgence, knowledge. Suppose somebody is interested in doing a PhD. After he has done 6 PhDs, he still wants to do another 7th PhD. It means that he is sattvic in nature. He wants to know the knowledge of things in the universe. He wants to know how the cosmos, how the different stars they are existing, what is happening in the medical field, how can I do research in cancer, how I can do research in other fields, COVID, and all that is all people who are sattvic oriented. Pravritti means action. I have built 4 houses. I have got $1 million, or I have bought 1 crore of rupees, in the bank. Now I want to make it bigger. I have built a business. I want to make it a bigger business. I have a family. I want to make a bigger family. All this is called as rajas. Activity, pravritti. Lobha is the indication. Lobha means greed. There is a greed inside. I want more and more of whatever I am possessing. And the third is moha, delusion. Always deluded. Right and wrong, he never knows in life. Always confused. Oh, it could be like this, it could be like that. And he makes for procrastination. Everything is postponed. If somebody has borrowed money, he'll say, oh no, I'll give it to you tomorrow. Tomorrow comes, he'll say, no, I'll give you the day after tomorrow. So that is postponement. That is not, it is only a nature of the mind. Delusion, laziness. And these are the indications. So what here the Lord is teaching us is, when they arrive or depart, I should not be after getting the gunas or being away from the gunas. This is what is the important lesson. A gunatita does not hate when they are there, and he does not long for them. That means what? He is got a balanced view in life. As soon as we get up in the morning, whatever be the day, I accept. Let the body go through whatever its experiences are coming. I will do my best in the circumstances, but I know I am not the 3 gunas. This is the lesson. These are the indicators of the 3 gunas. By the study of these verses, I put it into practice. You see, these topics, especially this particular chapter, I have mentioned right from the beginning, is it must be put in practice. It is not to be kept in the soft copy in your laptop. These notes are not meant for that. They are for practical usage. You must think. You must see these things in yourself. You can easily see in others, but don't tell them anything about it. You observe. Because gunas, we can't change the gunas of Prakriti unless and until the person decides to do so. I may want to change the gunas in another person, Suppose my spouse is not is very rajasic. I want to make her very sattvic. It's not possible if she doesn't decide it. So the decision has to come from the person with the three gunas. Then it is possible to slowly move from tamo to rajas, from rajas to sattva. It is never a jump from tamo to sattva and gunatita, or from tamo to gunatita. One does not hate when prakasham comes. That means when the illumination of the sense organs are there, one doesn't hate it. It doesn't say, oh, this morning has come again. It's a Monday morning syndrome. Again, I have to go back to work. Start work at 10 o'clock in the morning. If it was a Sunday, it is always welcome. Saturday, fantastic. I don't have to even think about work. So when prakasham comes, doesn't matter. Get into activity if you are required. Pravritti moha leads to sadness and gives pain and sorrow. Moha always is sorrow, which you know. Always try to become more and more sattvic, and after becoming sattvic, the next jump is the guna atitam. So when they are fully expressed, a jnani does not hate them. So jnani knows that there are gunas in this body. The gunas will be active till the body is alive. The prana keeps the body alive till the last karma of the body has to be done. The law of karma decides the length, the span of the body, lifespan of the body. The three gunas will be active till the lifespan of the body is there. But this is where the Bhagavad Gita learning comes. I can come out of these three gunas. I can stand apart, practice it. The more we practice this, you will find more and more joy coming into your life. I've heard people calling me after the lectures and say, oh my God, this is a fantastic chapter. For the first time, I come to know that I am not the mind. This is a great discovery for me. Always I used to keep cursing my mind and say, I am this, I am this, I am that. And now suddenly, and the teaching is not coming from anybody, it's coming from the Lord, the creator of the universe. So I believe 100% the Lord's words in these verses. And then you start seeing changes in the life. Peace dawns, happiness comes. Much more are the benefits of a guna atita jnani. So jnani is not rajasic, he is not selfish, and he considers the self to be infinite. What does this infinite means? I am immoral. I am immortal. From immoral to immortal is the journey of a jnani. Immortal means I don't have any limitations of the time or space or objects. This body may be there, it may not be there, like in sleep, but I am always the self, the consciousness. In the sleep state, I am there without my body or the world, but I am there. That I, without completely undressed from the body and the mind and the world, is the true nature of Atma. I have come out of my ignorance, the spiritual ignorance which I had for so many births. From the study of this chapter, I have started seeing there is a light beyond the sleep state. That light which I have now started seeing is the light of Atma, which is illumining the sleep state, which is illumining the dream state. Which light is illumining the dream state? There is no light, there is no sunlight. It is the spiritual light of consciousness which illumines the dream state. It is the same light which is illumining the waking mind also, but I am not aware. Now I have become aware, I am a jnani. There is a spiritual light of consciousness in this body. There is a spiritual light in this whole universe. That light of consciousness is one in the body and in the entire universe because it is all pervading. And it is infinite. It is not touched by time. Time cannot affect consciousness because time comes and goes in consciousness. So I distance myself from the body and mind and the three gunas and own up, claim this nature and tell Aham Brahma Asmi. I am that pure Gunatita Atma Asmi. Jnani considers the whole world as his self. This is called as Sarvatma Bhava. How does he do this? Because he realizes that the entire waking, dream and sleep state are superimpositions, adhyasa, on the Atma. The three states are superimpositions. They are errors of cognition. I have corrected that error. No more error for me. I become guna atita. The three gunas are the superimpositions on the ever-free Atma. This consciousness, awareness is always free. Free from time, free from space, and free from limitations of all the objects, including the body. The body may be there, it is limited in time, but I am the pure consciousness. Again and again, let me remind this fact. This is the fact of life, which is what a jnani abides in. There is no wickedness, there is no tamas. When the world is before him. That means when the waking state comes, he takes it as it comes. He knows that it will not last. Again, it will go away in sleep. Again, another new day will come, another day will go off. Kamya karma is an expression of rajas. Kamya karma means I want to do certain actions to gain certain things. I want to work hard so that I can get a house. I want to work hard so that I can get married. I want to work hard and get money. All these are good. There's nothing wrong in them. But there is something beyond them. Let me fulfill my life of all whatever I want to fulfill my desires. Let me fulfill them. But after that, after fulfillment of my worldly goals, let me also understand what is moksha. Is there something? By knowing, I can be free from the limitations or the limitations of time and space. That is the study of the chapter 14, and especially these verses. Adharma, unrighteousness, is an expression of tamas. Suppose you see somebody performing some acts which are not right, adharma. You find somebody stealing things in the office, suppose somebody is stealing things in the shopping mall. You hear about them, you read in the papers, you just understand it's a tamo guna which is active. If the person is taught correctly that it is not you, the real person, he will correct himself. The teaching has to be that he is the Atma behind these three gunas. Good actions are always expressions of sattva guna. Going to a temple is a sattvic guna. Chanting the Vishnu Sahasranamam is a sattvic guna. Chanting the Guru Stotram on a Guru Purnima day is a sattva guna. So these are all gunas which we can cultivate in life, but they are not the end. The sattva guna is not the end. You have to go beyond the sattva guna and realize that I am the pure Atma. Jnani knows that it is a natural tendency of the upadhis to go through these ups and downs. Upadhi means the body. The body is a medium in which I see the world, I learn about my true nature, and I come out of it. So this is a medium, it is an instrument for learning. It is an instrument by which I have comfort in life. And then, so the comfort comes because of my social activities. But that is not an end. Because when I am with the upadhi, when I am functioning with the upadhi of the body, there will always be ups and downs. Because the upadhi is limited. It is in the field of time and space. I am timeless by nature. I realize when I am seeing myself as the consciousness principle, awareness, which is beyond time, which is beyond space, which is beyond all the three gunas, which is beyond all the three avasthas, which is beyond all the five koshas, beyond all the three bodies. You must be very clear about consciousness. What is the nature of consciousness? It is the nature of knowledge. Pure knowledge about itself, and it can illumine the world with knowledge. That knowledge principle shines in the mind, and the mind gets the power to illumine the sense organs and get the knowledge of the external world of five sense objects. This is how I have a new vision about this universe. This is the Bhagavad Gita's vision. It is totally different. This is called as Jnana Chakshu. This is the eye of wisdom which comes from the study of the 14th chapter and the previous chapters. Slowly the mind gets acclimatized to reach this level. In the 15th chapter, we will see how to merge with the Creator, Purushottama Yoga. The senses are effulgent, bright. Sometimes they are tired due to action. Or even when you employ the sense organs to gather knowledge. Suppose you're working in a laboratory and the whole day you're working there, getting knowledge of what happens when these two chemicals are combined, and then you take the graph and you plot the graph and different parameters. This is all, your sense organs become tired, your mind becomes tired. So these are all what happens at the Prakriti level. And it is the gunas which are the karta. See, in my body, sometimes I say I am the doer of actions. I did all this work. I cleaned the whole floor today. Whole house I cleaned today. For 2 hours I was cleaning. I was doing the lawn mowing, or I was doing some work in the office. At that time, it is just the ego which is identified with the organs of action. That's all. This is how you understand gunas. The gunas are acting, and I am not the gunas. This is what the knowledge of the Gita brings about. I am the awareness principle. How is bondage created? Generally, we say it is the nature of the mind. Because mind is made up of three gunas. And we say because the mind is made up of three gunas, there is a bondage of the three gunas in this body. It is a natural expression of brightness, activity, dullness. I don't really will every day that today I'm going to be bright, I'm going to be dull, I'm going to be active. No, it happens naturally. There is a tug of war going on, sattva, rajas, tamas, sattva, rajas, tamas. This is a realm of matter. Not only in this body, but also outside. If you see the trees, you see the animals, uh, you see the sun, moon, stars, everything is active. So there's activity outside, there's activity inside, there's activity in my mind in the form of thoughts. So the whole universe of cosmos, which we say is activity oriented, which is called as pravrti, which is what is called as rajoguna. The earth is moving at a tremendous speed. The stars are moving. The sun is stationary. All this, so many things are happening in cosmos. All this is the nature of the three gunas. Jnani is free from wishing and wanting in life. Why? Because he has understood that the wishing and wanting is temporary. The contact of the sense organs with the sense objects brings desires in life. Desires are fulfilled in time, but they also cause pain when they leave. I want more and more of some things. So a desire fulfilled is not the end of it. It causes lobha. So the jnani is one who has understood this nature of gunas, and he, a gunatita, is an internal cognition. It's a private experience for each one of us. I have no access to your gunatita atma. You have no access to my gunatita atma. Through the scriptures, I know that there is only one atma. That atma is what I am in search of. The self-abiding Jivan Mukta, Atma Buddha, this verse 51. This jnani relinquishes all attachments, the fleeting joys of the world. He doesn't stop there. He also abides in the Atma. And he shines inwardly like a lamp in a jar. That shine is the shine of consciousness. Suppose I realize myself, I am the light of consciousness. If you remember this aspect of the study, out of the whole Bhagavad Gita, 700 verses, you just pick up this one knowledge. I am the consciousness, the light of consciousness in which everything is happening. Just one thing you try to remember. But don't forget, anytime you have a problem, also remember this thing. Come back to this knowledge and see whether it helps you or not. It's a guarantee this knowledge will help you, because this is the truth. Everything else which you are experiencing is there for experience. But it is not the truth. The truth always remains the truth. I am the consciousness is the ultimate truth declared by the Bhagavad Gita. I abide in it. I can benefit out of this abidance. This is a picture of how you place a lamp inside a jar. You can't see the lamp from outside. We see the walls of the pot. The lamp can see itself. As consciousness, I will know myself. I know that I am the one which is illuminating the thoughts. I am the one which is illuminating the emotions. I am the one which is illuminating the ignorance in my sleep state. All these are objects of awareness. I am the illuminator consciousness. The reflected consciousness in the mind reveals itself and the conditions of the mind without the impact of the gunas. See, in the mind there are gunas. In the same mind there is a reflection of consciousness, because mind is a very, very fine material, like a mirror. The mind can take the reflection of me, the consciousness. It can manifest me, like the moonlight is there. When the moonlight is there, The moonlight is a manifestation. It can manifest the sunlight. When I look at the moonlight, I can say for sure there is a sun shining in the moon. Because the moon by itself is inert material. It does not have light. When the sunlight shines, I can on a Guru Purnima day, when I see the bright moon, it is bright sunshine. It's a sunshine which is getting reflected, not the nature of the moon to be brilliant. So similarly, when the gunas are active, you must infer atma, the presence of atma. In the presence of atma, the gunas become active. In the presence of atma, the gunas become inactive. They go into unmanifest condition in sleep. The gunas, when they go into unmanifest condition, I, the consciousness, and you will illuminating that mind which has got a vritti, I don't know anything. Right now in the waking state, I see the world outside. I can see beautiful trees. I can see the stars. I can see the clouds. The eyes are seeing, and the knowledge is coming through the eyes, but the knowledge actually belongs to the Atma. The light which is illuminating the mind is illuminating the sense organs, and the sense organs are seeing the world. This is how we understand the nature of gunas. The 23rd verse, there are 27 verses, so we'll try and study this verse and see if we can finish this verse today. Udasinavat asino asinaha gunayo na vichalyate gunavartanti ityeva yovatishtati nengate. He who is seated unconcerned is not moved by the gunas, and he knows that the gunas are operating, and he is like the hub of a wheel which is right in the center. It holds all the spokes. The spokes are moving in a wheel, but the hub doesn't move. I am the consciousness, the hub of this body, and through this body I see the entire world. I am the core. The core of my personality is awareness. See, for those who have come up to the 14th chapter, you must realize that Bhagavad Gita is teaching me who am I. And the way it teaches me is I am the light of consciousness. I am aware of the body. The body is not aware of me. I am the light of consciousness, which is, when I look at my body, when I look at my hand, it is the light of consciousness which is looking at the hand. The knowing principle in this body is this consciousness. The sense of touch. When I touch my two palms, the sense of touch belongs to the consciousness. It does not belong to the inert body. The knowingness principle. When the eyes are seeing, the power behind the eyes belongs to consciousness. The power behind the ears belongs to consciousness. There is one power, that is the guna atita atma, which is unconcerned. It is not moved by the gunas. It is always centered on itself. It does not attach to the wandering mind. The mind wanders by nature. The mind, from morning to evening, if you just observe your mind, you will see the whole Maya in action. Suppose you close your eyes while you're doing yoga and you just keep on watching the mind, you can see how Maya is acting in your body. And then you can also note at the same time, I am the Sakshi which is seeing this mind. So when the mind is being observed, there are two things at play: the seer of the mind and the mind. The seer is unconcerned, indifferent. It is never attached to whatever is happening in the mind. And the body is anyway inert. It cannot know anything. See, this is how we come to know, we realize our nature. So Arjuna wanted to know how a gunatita person behaves in the life. This is one of it. So when a person you see, he is unconcerned. Okay, he has made billions of dollars, no problem. He has lost some money in the share market. Okay, he's not worried. Because okay, this is the nature of the world. It will go up one day, it'll come down another day, again it'll go up, another day it'll come up. One day there is a joy, another day there's a sorrow, again there's a joy, again a sorrow, maybe 4 days of sorrow, again 1 day of joy. That is the nature. Let me just be gunatita atma. Not shaken by the gunas. The sattva will cause prakasham. Jnani will not think that I am now more wise. The wiseness belongs to the intellect, buddhi. If I'm active, if I know the right and wrong, dharma, adharma, it is the quality of the buddhi. I am the light which illumines the buddhi. Sometimes I make mistakes in life. It is possible. All of us, we make mistakes in life. We are supposed to do something, we don't do it. We don't do it because it is the nature of the buddhi. Sometimes it makes errors. Again, tamoguna. Sometimes it is very bright. Again, it is sattva guna. So sattva will come, rajas will come. Jnani does not feel that my peace of mind is gone, because his peace does not belong to the mind. His peace comes from the nature of atma. Satyam jnanam anantam brahma. That pure substratum, the consciousness, the peace of the spirit, the peace of atma is totally different than what the peace of the mind is. The peace of the mind gets disturbed by events in life. The peace of atma never gets disturbed, because that is the substratum, that is the ocean floor. You have reached the ocean floor. Why are you worried about the waves in the surface of the mind? That is how a gunatita is. Such beautiful description. If you learn how to appreciate these verses, you will know the nature of atma. Body is tired, but not atma. So whenever a jnani will say, okay, I went around the whole, Swami Chinmayananda used to go to America, come back, and at the early morning at 4 o'clock, he will call the students in the ashram and take a class at 4:30 in the morning. This is what I've heard. See, he knows that he is a guru. He has got the strength of atma. That is what you and I can try to get by studying that I am this pure consciousness. Naiva kinchit karomiti yukto manyeta tattvavit pashyan shrinvan sprishan jigran ashnan gachan swapan shwasan pralapan visrujan unmishan nirmishan napi indriyani indriyanyatheshu vartante iti dharayan. This is a very famous verse of the 2 verses of the Bhagavad Gita. 5th chapter, 8th verse and the 9th verse. Very often quoted, like the Prakasham cha Praviltim cha Mohameva cha Pandava, which we just discussed. These 2 verses also, why is it famous? Because they describe the nature of the 3 gunas. And how I can be separate from this. How Atma is a Sakshi is these 2 verses are the proof. Because I am the substratum, all these are gunas which are happening at the body level. I am a higher level of consciousness. Vyavaharika Satyam means the truth at the activity level of the body and the mind and the world. There is a Paramarthika Satyam, absolute level, which is the Atma level. So when the body is acting, seeing, hearing, touching, smelling, eating, going, sleeping, breathing, speaking, closing eyes, opening eyes, these are all activities at the body level. At the mind level, emotions are coming, turbulences in emotions. Jealousy is there, anger is there, full of desires. I want that, I want this, so much of desire, passion. All this at the waves, at the surface level, not at the Gunathita level. I have nothing to do. I am the pure Atma Tattvam, Satchidananda Brahman, in which gunas are appearing and disappearing. When do they appear? Waking state. When do they disappear? Sleep state. I am the Sakshi. I am the Turiya Atma. You can see my Wednesday class, people who are attending this Gita also, there are some people who are attending both. You can see that there is the same thing which the Bhagavad Gita is revealing. It is exactly the same which Mandukya Upanishad is revealing as the Turiya Atma. The same, exactly the same verses, you can apply it in Mandukya Upanishad. I am the Turiya Atma. I am the pure consciousness in which the three states are coming and going, in which the body is acting, and the body is acting with reference to the sense objects in the world, but I am someone different than the activities. His prajna, awareness, is firm, sthiram, abiding in self-knowledge. That means a guna atita person and sthita prajna, they are exactly the same. The descriptions are exactly the same, because they both operate as if they are the pure Atman. Can we also try to understand the same mantras and try to operate from this core? It is possible. Each one of us has to make an effort. I will operate from as if I am the consciousness. It has to be a personal decision. You can determine whether you want to operate as an ego I, or you can act as per the Sakshi I. You have a choice. In the day-to-day activities, we are almost like forced by Prakriti to act like the ego. But there are some times where you can come out, remember the verses of Guna Atita Atma, and abide. Initially, the abidance time may be very, very less. Maybe once in a week, when you come to the class, you think about it, it is there. But slowly what happens is this knowledge goes deeper and deeper into the consciousness. And then you change. When the change happens, it's a very rewarding benefit and very, very beautiful experience. So what I will do is I will stop here with this 79th slide, and I will continue this next week. And hopefully next week we'll finish this chapter. We'll finish this chapter. We'll try to revise a little bit. There are 27, 3, 4 verses are remaining. I'll complete it next week. Then we'll go on to the 15th chapter. This has been a very beautiful chapter. You can revise these notes, revise these videos, hear them again and again. This chapter will make you happy in life, peaceful in life when you practice them. There are many listeners to these talks who come and tell me, yes, I have practiced, I have got the benefit. I have practiced, I have got the benefit. Because this is a practical chapter. When you apply it in yourself, you will see the difference. Okay. We will, if you have any questions, you can put them in the chat box. I will try to answer. Om Purnamada Purnamidam Purnahat Purnamudachade Purnasya Purnamadhaya Purnameva Vasishyade. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Hari Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Hari Om. Okay, if you have any questions, we'll see in the chat box. Okay, there's one remark here. Oh, there's quite a lot. Okay, I'll go through one by one. Wanting to know more, is this sattva, as you have described, a product of kamya karma? It's ample to know subjects such as psychology, philosophy, history, or understandable as one is trying to explore the dimension of the panchakoshas alone, especially my mind. Okay, so the first question is the wanting to know more. Yes, it is sattva guna. There is absolutely nothing wrong in going for psychology, philosophy, history, poetry, cosmology. So many sciences are there. Absolutely nothing wrong. You have a brilliant intellect. So this shows that your intellect is very, very, very sattvic in nature. It wants to know things. Apart from knowing the tattva jnanam, it wants to know the world. That means your buddhi is very powerful. Make use of the buddhi. Make use of the buddhi to learn the world, no doubt. But also keep in mind, devote a small amount of time for the study of Bhagavad Gita. It can be half an hour a day. You can go through whatever you want, anything you want in life, you can go ahead. Because there are very powerful minds. You see, the mind of each person is very different. Your mind may be very different. My mind may be very different. The power of the mind is very different for each one of us. It is our inheritance which we have brought into this life. From previous life, it is coming to you. It is not something which you have created yourself. This is a buddhi which is coming for so many lives. So if your buddhi is trying to explore the world, go ahead. Yeah, yeah, go ahead. Yeah, Shama. Can you unmute yourself? Yeah, can you?
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Thank you. Namaste, Shigaji. Thank you. So I'm sorry really to plague you with so many questions, but
Yeah.
it's just so that's very satisfying an answer to my first question.
Okay.
About this, except you're kind of giving a proportion of time. So where you're saying, so that would be very helpful if you can just sort of give, because I feel very guilty, because I know what is my ultimate goal, is to know the tattva jnanam. And why am I doing completely, devoting any bit of time to exploring this material world, So, but I find it's very difficult to suppress that, So that's why I was asking whether it's...
Don't suppress that.
No?
Develop that buddhi part. Don't suppress it.
Okay.
Because you are born in this world to go ahead with your buddhi as per nature.
Because that's my prakriti.
That is your prakriti. Don't change it. That is you see, Arjuna was told the same thing. Arjuna, you follow your prakriti.
Okay, that's very really a big relief, because I'm suddenly feeling much happier. The second question, uh, so do you want, because I was actually writing my notes while you were giving talk, you know, so this Gunatita, I love this expression, the internal cognition is a beautiful expression. What one has to contend though here, that this is the realm of the personal, you know, joy almost one's own truth. So my question is, you know, sometimes you are very, the next part of it, when you are in that world of your own, you know, this gunatita, there is very transient period where you are really in that realm. You almost want to share it with someone else.
Yes, but we
Yeah.
can't find people to share. That is a problem.
Yeah. Yeah, that's what I'm asking. So,
Yeah.
and many a times then you're risking. So the question is almost simultaneous intense desire to share. Would you recommend, or should this higher perception should remain a secret known to me alone, as it is impossible for another to know when one should be described as a soulmate?
No,
You know,
no.
I just wonder whether
Yeah.
it's a realistic.
You see, you will definitely find somebody in the world with whom you can share this joy.
Okay, okay.
You
That's
will come across some friend. It need not be your husband or son or daughter or anybody, but you will find somebody in the world who will come to you and with whom you can share this joy.
Okay, excellent. The next one is this extraordinary benefit of this 14th chapter, which I'm discovering, is that it helps to know the inner working of my mind. That is that this is an emotional response which my mind is doing. This is a response from the buddhi, you know, so two very big categories, you know, in terms of just watching my internal response even before I've said it. The power of detachment. So this is really what I'm coming is that one is increasingly developing that ability to develop this power of detachment, which looks like the ultimate tool to live in the world. You know, the secret of Gita, which I feel is how can you live with that power of detachment in this world?
Okay, see, generally what I am teaching right now in the Bhagavad Gita are just the simple words on the meanings of the Bhagavad Gita. This is one level of teaching. If you study the Shankara Bhashyam, you know, some selected verses, in the net, there are some translations available of Shankar Bhashyam. That means Shankaracharya has written a commentary, and there is on the Bhagavad Gita.
Okay.
And there are people who have written translation on the Bhashya.
Okay.
You can take selected portion of the Bhagavad Gita and try to read the Shankara Bhashya. You will get a very deeper meaning of these verses.
Okay.
And so there is one, that is one exercise you can try to do. You can either read it from the net. There are some talks available of Shankara Bhashyam,
okay,
which will explain and will take your mind more deeper.
Okay. Okay.
Because what I'm now covering is just a very small portion, just at a superficial level.
I will correspond to you separately to get some recommendations.
I will give you some references.
Thank you.
And you know, you will get connected with some portions, like for example, the Shankaracharya's Bhashyam of Kshetra Vibhaga Yoga. The third verse of the second and the third verse of the Bhagavad Gita, the 13th chapter. It is called a Shankara Bhashyam of the Kshetra Vibhaga. It's a very famous Bhashyam.
Okay.
There are some people who have given commentary on that.
Okay.
Then there is, this is one deep subject where you can try to see how to go deeper into your mind.
Yes, yes.
There is an ultimate Bhashyam, which is the final, which is called as Adhyasa Bhashyam of Brahma Sutra.
Wow.
That is ultimate. If you, there are, you know, the people who have written a commentary on Adhyasa Bhashyam. Adhyasa means superimposition. How does the mind superimpose the entire world on Atma?
Okay.
Now that is the ultimate. You see, normally that is recommended for people who have done the Upanishads and the Gita.
Okay. Okay. I have to wait.
Okay, and if you, when you are ready, I will give you a set of 14 lectures to listen. Not, I will send you 14 lectures. You listen, but then it requires very concentration,
Yeah.
deep concentration, because that will analyze your buddhi completely, left, right, and center. You know, it will analyze Atma and the buddhi, and make your understanding so deep.
Yeah.
And then you will realize, yes, this is the truth.
Wonderful. Wonderful. Thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you.
This is how you have to progress in spirituality. And those type of lectures will really sparkle the wisdom at the deepest level.
Yeah. Thank you.
Okay, the next question is how to climb up Turiya Avastha while abiding in Sattva Guna. Any relation, reference to Saguna, Nirguna of God and three gunas of Jiva. Okay, the only way to do this, to climb the Turiya Avastha, is again and again remind yourself that this waking state is a state of the mind. It is not me. It is not me, the awareness, consciousness. I am in this waking state. I am the light. I am the light, like the sunlight is there. I am the pure light in which this whole state is coming and it's going. Again, the state comes, again, the state goes. When you practice this particular meditation, you will get to a point where you will realize that I am the awareness. You will get it. You will. So this is the method. The method is this is not only the waking state. It is the dream state. The dream state is easy because you know the dream state has come and gone. The sleep state is also very easy. But the most difficult is the waking state. The waking state is something which is also coming and going like the dream and like the conscious, like the sleep state. This is what I'm teaching in the Mandukya Upanishad. And this is, of course, there is a Omkara meditation will help. But the real thing is that all this is gunas. It's an activity of the gunas. It's all prakriti. And then when you do this, when you constantly remind this, you will reach the Thuriyam state. There is no doubt about it. Thuriyam is more, it is the nirgunam. That means there is no gunas active in it. The nirguna of God and the three gunas of the jiva are exactly the same. You see, once you have trained your mind to detach from the mind, then there is only one thing. There is only one substratum, which is the substratum for both the jiva as well as the creator. Because both of them, they merge in this consciousness only. Again, like I'm saying, I was explaining before, it takes time. Like I told Shama also, it's the same. Lakshmi, you also really need to wait a little bit more. I will be giving some talks, maybe, I don't know, it will take maybe a year or so, but because this group of Saturday classes, we'll be doing the after Bhagavad Gita, we'll start the Upanishads. Because the study of Upanishads, I'll tell you how it works. The Bhagavad Gita gives us a general picture. Okay, this is what Atma is, this is what I am Gunatita Atma. But the reinforcement of Atma comes in the Upanishads. So the Upanishads will talk a lot about Atma. They will not talk too much about the Jiva there. The Bhagavad Gita talks about karma yoga, upasana yoga, how to slowly develop the mind, prepare the mind, all that they will talk. But once it comes to Upanishad, like Kaivalya Upanishad, 24 verses, you would straight away see in 24 verses, they declare, and then if you understand the Upanishads clearly while you're doing the Upanishads, then you are already a realized person. So I'll be taking the Kaivalya Upanishad first for this group, for the Saturday group. Once we finish the 18th chapter, we'll do the Kaivalya Upanishad. But then there is that Brahma Sutra. In the Brahma Sutra, what happens is Shankaracharya goes very deep into the mind. In the Shankara Bhashyam of Adhyasa Bhashyam, the introductory portion of the Brahma Sutra. And that portion, some people have explained it in the form of 14 lectures. There is a Shankara Bhashyam in Sanskrit. If you read the Bhashyam, the translation, you will not understand anything. I'll warn you right now, if you read the Bhashyam directly, you won't understand. So if you listen to a guru who is explained this Shankara Bhashyam, you will be able to appreciate. But it requires time, it requires focus, and you should be ready for it because it's a very deep subject. It goes to your psychology. See, like Shama is very interested in psychology. This is the highest psychology she can ever read in the Western literature. But once she does this, she'll say, I don't want any of the Western books. I want only the Brahma Sutra, the Adhyasa Bhashyam, because this is the highest. It tells you how to dissect the I in this body. In this I, there is a reflection of aham and idam. Yeah. I'm just giving you a synopsis of that Bhashyam. In I, there are two factors. Mm-hmm. One is the aham portion, yeah, which is called as ahamta asmat pratyaya. This is called as I thought. Mm-hmm. In the I cognition, there is I thought as well as there is a idam thought. Idam means this.
Oh, yes. Okay, get it. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Okay, in I, whenever there is an I, there is I plus idam. That means there is a reflection of I.
Yeah.
Now, how do I separate and how do I see this separate in that I? How do I break the aham portion and how do I break the idam portion? That is what Shankaracharya explains in the Adhyasa Bhashyam. And he says that the Adhyasa means error. The right from the beginning of this is how the ignorance, this is what is called as ignorance. How did the ignorance come to me as a jiva?
Yeah.
See, in the Shastra, when we learn the Gita, we say, yes, ignorance has been coming to me for several births. Now, but what is this ignorance? What type of ignorance are we talking about? That ignorance is this split of I and this.
Yeah.
I'm not able to understand how does this split happens in the mind. Once I am able to come out of this ignorance, then everything will make sense.
Mm-hmm. That's really inspiring, very inspiring, because I was almost on the verge of examining so many different courses and things, hoping that somebody somewhere must be, in the world of material science, the psychology.
It is not in the material science.
But I realize that what I'm looking for is probably I will never find, because I did venture into one of these American things just because they said spirituality was included. So I was very tempted. And of course, very quickly within the very first class, I just knew I was in the wrong place. It was very disappointing. So I'm trying to guard myself, that I'm probably better off on my own, lot of thought process and acquiring rather than jumping into the well, of all these various different, there's so much available. I really,
especially for you, Shama, what I recommend is this.
I can't afford to waste time at my stage of life.
Because you have studied so much the Western psychology, you will appreciate because you have done the Kathopanishad, you've got the exposure of some Upanishadic texts.
Yes.
You have got a tremendous exposure. I think what you lack today is this Bhashyam.
Yeah.
And after you do this Bhashyam, you should do the first 4 Brahma Sutras. After the Bhashyam, there are 4 sutras. These 4 sutras, Tattu Samanvayat, so these 4 sutras, you just do it.
Okay, wonderful.
Take that as your goal for the current, say, it will take you maybe just 3-4 months to listen.
Okay,
and,
that is wonderful. I'm so grateful.
Yeah,
really.
you will.
Because I really cannot afford to waste time. So my worry is that, you know, I feel,
Yeah.
God,
No, you will.
I have no confusion what I want. You know, I have absolutely no confusion. My buddhi is quite clear in terms of what I see as the truth, you know, the Atman state. But this whole bag of emotions, which is part of what I see around it, part of what I myself, I've been through it and I'm aware of it. And that seems to be really like paralyzing. It's almost like I'm walking in chains, you know, imprisoned within my own mind, and I hate it. You know, I really detest it. So trying to know more, I don't want to end up more in a prison. Can you see that?
Yeah,
you know?
I understand what you're saying. So I think this might help you, this Adhyasa
Okay.
Bhashyam.
I'm sorry, I don't want to take up everybody's time. I'll talk to you separately. Thank you.
Okay, no problem.
Thank you.
Okay, is there any other question from somebody else? Anybody else has a question? Yeah, but
Hari Om.
Yeah, Hari Om, but
So you just talked about the aham and idam, right?
Yes.
Can you explain that in a brief sense? I'm just curious about that. I don't want to waste a lot of time on that, but just give me a flavor of what.
Okay. You see what? Maybe I'll have to take a separate session on this, perhaps. But I'll just tell you in short. See, what they are saying is that aham is, whenever you say aham, I, this I is in this body. You can experiment it yourself. You close your eyes and say aham. When you say aham, it refers to this body. At the same time, it is revealing to you that it is not the body. There is a aham. It is a cognition. It is not the body, because the body cannot say aham. Body is inert. So there is some principle which is saying this aham. Okay, so that's the first thing. Now, what Shankaracharya is telling us is that this aham is actually atma. It is the substratum. It is the spiritual essence in this body and in the entire universe. This is what Shankaracharya's main thesis is. See, when he starts this Brahma Sutra, he had a lot of oppositions who said that how can you say there is an error happening in Atma? How can an error happen? How can aham be confused with idam? Idam means this. Aham means I. So you are telling me this aham and idam, there is an error. There is a confusion between the two. Idam pratyaya means this body. Aham pratyaya, pratyaya means thought. I thought and this thought. Sometimes in our life, we say, I am tired. This is an error, according to Shankaracharya. See, he is trying to analyze what are the types of errors which are possible psychologically, cognitively. So he describes in this Bhashyam, in this commentary, he basically it is an argument which he proposes for his opponents. His opponents are the other philosophers like the Nyaya, Vaisheshika, the people who believe in rituals. You know, they are materialists. They want Swarga. So they say you do all the rituals, you will have more experiences of joy. So during his time, he had these opponents, and keeping in mind his opponents, who are all trying to put him down and say there is no adhyasa possible between aham and idam. That means I say this body is mine sometimes, and sometimes I say I am this body. That means there is a confusion. This body is mine, this sofa is mine, this house is mine. I say this house is mine. At the same time, I say this body is mine. If the body is mine, that means I am not the body. But I still use the phrase during my normal working and also believe that I am the body. See, we all believe, by nature, we are born with this adhyasa. So this is the fundamental error for all of us. We are born with it, all of us. So this is what Shankaracharya is, he tries to explain, that this error between I, which is actually the atma, which is the consciousness, it is mistaking the body as me. It is mistaking the mind as me. I say I am sorrowful, I am angry, then it looks at the body and says, I am born on so-and-so day, I will not be there on so-and-so day. He says these are all bound to time. But actually Atma, the I, real I, is not bound to time. It is the substratum for the whole universe. So he says that he uses a one word, which is very beautiful, which everybody knows it. He says adhishtanam. Adhishtanam, the Atma is the adhishtanam on which the error is happening. The error of judgment, that I am not the Atma, I am the body, I am the mind. So he says this error has to be corrected if you want to understand who you are. You can do all Upanishads, all Bhagavad Gita, but if you don't correct this error in your own mind, you will never succeed. Adhyasa will still continue. Error will still continue. So you have to break that adhyasa, and then you will see that the three states are just nothing, but it's all coming and going in consciousness. So once you understand this adhyasa, the superimposition, which is happening by habit, this can be cut off. It is a notion in the mind. This is a habit which has been coming for all our births. See, the mind has got this habit. And when did it start? Nobody knows. But it can end. This ignorance can end. He says that ignorance can be, that is why it is bhaditam. It can be negated. And the moment you negate this ignorance, what happens is you are free. I remove this adhyasa, this superimposition I remove from my own mind. I don't have any more notions. I'm not the Atma. And you separate yourself from the body and mind. The body and mind is going through these three states, is going through samsara, but I am not the real. This is all an appearance. For every appearance, there is a substratum. For a rope snake experience, there is a substratum of the rope. For the error of anatma being my body, anatma being myself, there is for that the substratum is atma. Yeah, Shama.
Sorry to ask, this is a very personal question, but personal means I'm asking you that since gaining all these knowledge, which you have obviously, looked into and understood it, would you say that you have on your ordinary day-to-day life, would you say that you have benefited hugely in terms of your own responses to the material world around you?
Oh yes, of course, 100%.
Yeah.
100%.
Sorry to ask this question, but
it's very true. You see, without this knowledge, I'm sure I would have been a much more miserable person in life.
Thank you. You answered my question. Yeah, I just wanted to know how you feel free in responding to the way you do without thinking, did I do right? Did I do wrong? Because
Yeah, because you see, you realize that you have made certain errors in life, but at the same time, you don't hate your mind because that is nature.
Ah, that's the point. Because I feel, you know, I brought up in a Christian tradition, so I immediately feel like a sinner, papi, you know,
Yeah, that is
which
where you have to
which in
drop it.
which in Sanskrit it's even worse, you know,
Yeah,
papa, you know.
papa. No, 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 no.
Yeah.
That is something which you get rid of.
Yeah, and this is why I was thinking that if I'm in my pure form and I
Yes,
know I have actually worked in my purest form,
yes,
then I have nothing, you know, whatever be the outcome, you know, how the other person
yes.
mistakes me
This,
or
this,
understands
this,
me,
this
I have no,
yeah, this sinner is very, very deeply ingrained in my mind.
it's very deep actually
And
for me.
there is no method of removing
Yeah,
conditioning of the mind.
yeah. Very early on in life, I was
Yeah,
brought up in a Christian convent school.
no,
So
but this condition can be removed by only the medicine for this is only Adhyasa Bhaskara.
thank you so much. You have been most, I can't say how grateful I should feel and what
No,
I
but
should.
you go through that. Once you go through that, then you go through the four sutras, or the first four sutras of the Brahma Sutras. That's all.
For example, I'm already feeling guilty for other people who are, you know, participating in the discourse today,
No, no, it's
that I'm
okay.
taking away other
No, no,
people's
no, no.
time.
See,
And
each one of us is at a different level, and
mhm,
our minds. You see, your mind is working at a different level than other people. Some people have just started doing the Gita. They are just finished the Gita course. Now they have not done the Upanishads. Now they don't have questions like you because you have done Katha Upanishad, you have done the Brihadaranyaka Upanishad, you have done some of the Upanishads, and you have got some benefit out of it. You have done the
yeah,
Bhagavad Gita, you have done the Tattva Bodha, Atma Bodha, you have done certain things. For you, the medicine is different. For
yeah.
somebody else, the medicine is different. The prescription is different. So,
Thank you for giving me the prescription.
okay, all
Wonderful.
right.
Thank you.
Yeah. So but I will what I need to do is maybe sometimes I'll have to take just a one simple.
Yeah.
I've tried to explain in the basic way how Shankaracharya addresses
Ahamanikam.
this problem,
Yeah. Makes sense.
and it's a very beautiful commentary, and people have written notes on it, and but the best way to do this is listen to some person who has analyzed it and giving a commentary on the words of the Shankaracharya.
Yeah.
See, Shankaracharya has written say a paragraph in Sanskrit. So
Mm-hmm.
somebody has analyzed every sentence in the paragraph and
Mm-hmm.
he has
Right.
commented on that. So
Wonderful.
that way, when you study the Bhashyam and let it sink in your mind,
Mm-hmm.
you listen maybe daily for 10, 15, 20 minutes, because this is a very serious matter. You know, it is psychology at the highest level.
Wonderful. Yeah,
So
I need it.
once you go through that, you will find that your own mind cognitively changes.
Wonderful. No, you've spelled it out so wonderfully well. Yeah. And it is kind of saving me because I was about to, you know, really join so many different things.
Okay. But did I answer your question?
Yeah, Shekharji,
Perfect.
I think the way I understood you explained is aham is about the atma and idam is about the anatma,
Yes.
and and the anatma causes the superimposition, and due to which we have that, you know, the wrong perception, which is called as an ignorance, and that is what you are calling it as, you know, the adhyasa.
Yes.
The problem. And he is attacking and or otherwise explaining that aspect. The Shankaracharya is explaining that. I think that's what
Yes.
to say,
That's
right?
correct. Yes.
Okay, understood. Thank you.
Okay. Very good. You have got different comments from Uma and
I'm
about
very
Tama.
grateful. I'm very grateful. I'm very grateful.
Okay. Anybody else has a question? Okay, if there are no questions, we'll continue next week. We'll finish chapter 14. And then chapter 15, as I said, is Purushottama Yoga. It is again going back to knowledge base. Then the 16th chapter is on Daiva Asura Sampat Vibhaga Yoga, which is all the wrong values we have in life and all the devilish values and the divine values. So that is another bashing which we need to understand before the 17th and the 18th chapters. So anyway, we have a long way to go, but it's very, very beautiful how Bhagavad Gita helps us, especially the 14th chapter, because this is an eye-opener for us. Suddenly I realized this mind is something, it is a guna. When I first heard it, when the Bhagavad Gita, I didn't understand the chapter 14 at all. But when I repeatedly listened to it about 10 times, then on the 11th time, it struck to me, it is talking about my mind. And then for me, it was difficult to also understand how guna and mind, are they connected? So again, it took me some time to understand guna is the nature, general nature of the 5 elements, how it operates. My mind is just, it has got its turbulences. It explains to me the nature of why my mind goes through these turbulences. So it takes time because the knowledge sinks into the mind and then slowly it opens up all the errors which we make cognitively. And that cognitive errors, if it is removed, I am free. There is no more sinner in this body. There is no more, both the punyam and papam both go away. It's you don't, neither you are worried about getting riches in the world, or neither you are worried about anything bad. Okay, these have happened. I can't change what has happened in my life. The past can't be changed, but the future can be changed. I can become free. That is a given fact in life through the scriptures. That is the goal of why they say that it's a goal. It's a moksha is a goal of a human being. So I can get this freedom. It is a fact of life. If I have to work towards it, okay, it comes because these talks also come to me. Again, there is a cosmic mind which rules this entire law of karma, which rules this entire world. You see, we are all, how we get this knowledge, nobody knows. It comes to me. It comes to me sometimes when I'm ready, it comes to me.
Yeah.
You see, it doesn't come to me all at the same time. Knowledge comes when we are ready, it comes. How it comes, I don't know. This is the nature of the world. The Guru comes right in front of me and he gives me the book and he says, come on, read this book. It comes. How, when, I don't know. So anyway, so we'll continue next week. Thank you and good night.
Thank you so
Thank
much.
you. Good night. Thank you. Good night.
Guru Purnima.
Happy
Oh,
Happy
yes.
Thank you very much. Thank you. Good night.